So bear with me. I am getting this live on YouTube. That way it's recorded. I think we're good. All right. Can everyone see the screen? Everyone has access. I mean, you guys can all hear me. Fantastic. Thank you very, very much. All right. Let me clear this out. All right, very good. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Annabelle Pacheco. I am an investor and a real estate broker. I've been in business for 24 years. And really the goal of this event and what I do is to share with each one of you in detail the 8 steps that I took in purchasing my first multifamily deal in hopes that you guys can also do the same. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm not selling anything, I'm not offering anything, and I'm definitely not a financial advisor. I am just here sharing my story with you in hopes that you guys can use this platform to share any kind of information that maybe you think might help someone else, and vice versa, just a platform for all of us to learn from each other. Let me, next screen. So now I started in real estate or in the mortgage industry back in the mid 90s. I've purchased over 100 properties throughout my career. We pretty much rehabbed, fixed, flipped. I did keep some of those, rented them out, leased them out for some time, but the majority has definitely been in flips. In 2001, I built a 150 capacity restaurant from ground up. We had a staff of about 15 people, including managers, chefs, and servers, and ran that for about 8 years, sold it, and was probably the best day of my life when I was able to turn over the keys to someone else. Very, very sacrificing, hard business to do, and really having that experience, I've appreciated how nice real estate and especially real estate investing is. In the last 10 years, I have focused my business in just 100% representing clients in both residential and commercial real estate. Now, back in 2010, I purchased my first multifamily property, which was 34 units that we got in Texas, Grand Prairie, Texas. Now, I was looking for a way to create cash flow and generational wealth, which I'm sure many of you are also looking to do. And here are the reasons why I invested in multifamily property, and I really do hope that it inspires you to do the same. Okay, so number one was cash flow. We were really looking for a way to just create income while we were sleeping. And for those of you that may not know, just cash flow is your rental income minus all your expenses. That's what you're making on a monthly basis from your multifamily property. Number two was having all these tenants pay off my loan. That was something that was super exciting, and we were looking, just looking forward to acquiring. And the third step was appreciation, that we thought, okay, we're buying a property today, and we have tenants that are paying down the mortgage, and over the long run, this property is going to appreciate. And number 4 was tax benefits, right? Depreciation, that we could use a portion. Basically, you could use a portion of the physical structure each year as an expense, depreciated there from your taxes. And then the most common and really like just incredible one is the 1031 exchange, which it allows you to defer your capital gain taxes. No limits whatsoever. You can do this 2, 3, 4 times, as many times as you want. Eventually, you will have to pay, or someone will have to pay those capital gains, but while you're creating capital, you can do your 1031 exchange. So I'm going to give you guys an example of what happened to me. And honestly, it just worked out. And I think that I scored a home run. And they're not as easy to find nowadays, but they're definitely out there. And you just have to work hard at trying to find one of these, but they're out there. And it's what we call a value add multifamily property. So I purchased a property for $850,000. I put down $350,000, and the seller actually carried a note for 2 years on the remaining balance of the $500,000. Now I want you guys to know that this property was listed on LoopNet. Nowhere did it say that the seller would carry a note. Nowhere did it say anything of what I'm going to share with you guys right now. So just from being in real estate and representing many other clients and learning how to negotiate, you know, when it came to, it was my turn now, and I decided I'm going to purchase multifamily, you know, I just asked the seller if they would be interested in carrying a note. And he said, yes, it made total sense for them. They were probably making more money from the note than they were from the rental income they were collecting there. Because when I bought that property, since I mentioned it was a value add, that property needed a lot of work. It needed to be remodeled. And what we did when we purchased this property is he gave us 2 years, and he allowed us the time to remodel and update those units. And so what we did in that 2-year period, we went in and we did it in I want to say in groups. So maybe like 5 at a time. We started updating kitchens. And remodeling the property so that we can increase the rents. So Dawn, to answer your question, what does a note mean? So the note means that the seller financed, instead of me going out and getting a loan from the bank, he gave me a loan, and we refer to it as a note. And I had specific terms with the owner directly, that I made payments to him. My mortgage payments went to him instead of a traditional bank. And it was a lot easier. As my first transaction, it was a lot easier to have the seller finance for me than it was to actually go to a bank. I hope that answers your question. Perfect. All right. So we remodeled and updated. Oh, and by the way, if you guys have any questions, just jump in. It's easier than putting it on the chat, because I sometimes don't see it, but just you can jump in and interrupt, not a problem.
I have a question.
We increased all the rents in the units, and by the second year, we were able to refinance the property. It appraised at $1.6 million. All I needed was really $1 million. I got back my initial down payment, and I got back money, you know, the repair costs that I had spent on the property. And today, this property, I have zero invested in it. And the value of this property today is 2.7. So in I purchased it in 2010. I'm sorry, 2015 is when I purchased the property. We definitely have appreciated a lot. Yes. So it was awesome. It's been great. And, you know, they're out there. You cannot find them. And again, I had to grow. I want you guys to understand, I had to go through a lot of properties to find this one. But when you guys are out searching, like you've made your mind that you're going to buy multifamily, and you're out there searching for that and looking for that, and you have your criteria, you have your budget, you have these things in your mind, you will find it. You just have to go out there and look for it. It's not easy, but they're out there. I know that I've mentioned in other sessions, which I'm not going to get into that today because I have a different topic, but connect with other real estate agents, connect with other multifamily investors, talk to people, ask them, how did they find their property? What did they do? And this is how you will learn. And this is how you can implement this when you guys are out looking for your own property.
Can I ask a question about how you
Any questions so far?
Yeah, can you hear me? This is Nick. Can you hear me,
Don't be
Annabelle?
shy. I need you guys to definitely ask questions because I know this is a lot of information.
This is Nick. Can you
All
hear
right.
me?
So here's a picture
Annabelle?
of the property
Annabelle?
that I own. It's
She
34
can't hear
units,
us.
2 buildings. This building that you see right here has 24 one-bedroom, 1-baths, upstairs and downstairs. And then this is the front building, which is townhome style properties, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, and there's 10 of these. And we went in and, like I said, in groups of 5s, we tried remodeling the unit so that by then they were all ready and we could just increase rents and move and move on. Anyway, so today I am talking about step number 8, which is managing your multifamily property. So this is really important when you purchase multifamily property. You have to decide if you're going to self-manage this property or if you're going to hire a manager.
Sorry, I was gone for a minute.
And
Can you
in
hear
my
us, Annabelle?
case, I decided that I was going to
No.
self-manage, and I created a team. I felt that 34 units was just not enough for me to hire a management company and pay them, their fees. It just didn't make sense. I thought that, you know what, I know enough. I understand how this works, and I think that we can hire someone and have them run our property. Now, mind you, I live in California. My property is in Texas. So what we did is we decided we hired someone that would live on the property. So we give them a discount on their rent, and she's there 24/7. And that's really what we wanted because we're far away and we needed to make sure that we had someone. I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
We can hear
guys
you.
hear me?
Can you hear us?
Someone is saying you can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can't hear Nick. I cannot. Is Nick trying to say something? Let's see here.
Yes.
Everyone is muted. Like to ask. Let me make sure. Let me see what's going on here. If everyone is muted. Not on my end. Everyone's mic is open on my end.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you, Mike. I think you have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me, Annabelle?
Oh, maybe it's this. I can't. They can hear me. I can't hear them. Maybe it's this.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you, Mike.
Yes. Let's do YouTube. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, Mike.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys now.
Okay.
Now, how do we get rid of this?
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Just give me a second. I'm trying to figure something out with my YouTube live. Now, how do we get rid of this?
Okay.
I should go to your YouTube live right now. No.
live streaming?
We'll play, we can just do that afterwards, because if we don't, then
All right, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think I can I can hear you guys. All right, can everyone hear me?
Yes. Better before.
I can't do this.